All right, 3 days ago, I made a video talking about how Lowtiergod's winning against haters and trolls. And I want to revise just something. I'm going to take trolls out of that because honestly, the trolls, they're winning in a sense too, because if the trolls, if they're a troll and they admit to themselves, I like watching this man be a baby. I like watching this man rage. I like watching this man complain. I like trolling this man, then they're winning because they're getting what they want. But the haters, they're losing, and they always been losing. And if you clicked on this video, you lost even more because you identified yourself as an LTG hater, which why would you even do that? If you genuinely hate somebody, you would ignore them, especially when it comes to YouTube, Twitch, all that. Because if you ignore somebody, they don't gain traction. If you ignore this video will not get traction. Let's say nobody clicks on this video, right? And let's say the people who don't like Lowtiergod, they say, oh, I'm not gonna give this guy support. Then they won't click on my video. When you click on my video, that gives it a little traction. Right? It's the same thing with Lowtiergod. Even if it's clips, if you decide to clip me and upload me somewhere else, that gives me traction. That puts my name out there. That's what's happening with Lowtiergod. See, this is my main problem with the haters, right? If you genuinely hate the man, why would you watch these clips? Why would you watch somebody that you hate? If you do that, it just keeps getting the man's name more out there. So let me give you guys an analogy. I was thinking about this analogy, while I was reading the comments on my last video. So let's say Lowtiergod's a homeless man, right? This man Lowtiergod's homeless, nobody knows about him, but then somebody comes up to him and this homeless man starts doing a little rage dance, right? Like he sees that somebody's watching him and he tries to entertain him by getting mad, because I don't know. That's what the homeless man wants to do. He wants to rage, get mad, be a disgusting person. And then the guy starts hating on him like, oh, this dude's fucking nasty. But then somebody else comes up and they actually see the homeless man because this hater is there and watching the homeless man. So now he's bringing the homeless man to light. And this other guy, he comes up and he says, I like watching this man get mad. I like watching this man do a little dance for me. And he starts throwing money at the homeless man because he wants to keep seeing the homeless man do that dance. And so this also brings up another point, right? There's this guy that a lot of people bring up called IMMO342. I think that's what he is. And people say this name like it's their God, their savior, but he's a winner, but that doesn't mean you're a winner. He earns the money, but not you. You're just giving Lowtiergod traction when you watch his streams and all that. You can't account for every single person who watches that man and say none of them are going to Lowtiergod, because this goes back to the homeless man. Let's say IMMO, that dude, he's recording the homeless man and on a screen very far away, the homeless man's on that screen dancing, and there's a lot of people gathered around on that screen. There are going to be some people watching that screen who say to themselves, you know what? I like watching this guy on this screen. I want to go and see this homeless man in person. So they go watch him in person and throw money at him so they can keep seeing this little dance that the homeless man is doing. That's basically what that is. But you're not a winner in that situation because you're gaining traction to that video, You're gaining traction. You're giving traction to the Lowtiergod name. That's what you're doing. And again, you guys keep getting confused saying I'm a Lowtiergod supporter and all that. I'm legit not. I do not care about the man. When I don't care about somebody, I do not look at their content. I'm not watching Lowtiergod's content at all. I'm not watching really any clips. Only watch clips in preparation for this little video I'm making. That's it. I keep telling you guys right now, I'm watching DSP, and before that I was watching Wings of Redemption. Only watch one locale at a time. I can't watch multiple at a time. That's just not how I roll. I want to watch DSP be a pathetic little pig for right now. That's what I'm doing. But yeah, you guys are kind of wasting your time. The haters, again, if you identified yourself as a hater and you clicked on this, you immediately lost. There's a lot of good points that people brought up in the comment section last video. Lowtiergod's losing in a lot of regards, but he's winning in the regard that he's still around. Like, he's still here. When you look up other people's names like Minilad and J-Station, all those, you'll only see negative videos pop up on these guys. But when you look up Lowtiergod, the first videos that pop up are just him raging. It's because these people keep doing that. It's the same thing endlessly because people want to see that. And the people who clip them are like, oh, these guys want to see that, so I'm gonna keep clipping that. And it just keeps his name out there. It just keeps it out there. It never goes away. And I don't think Lowtiergod will ever get canceled for a really long time now. I think he can only get canceled by his own doing. He got banned off of YouTube from his own doing because he was ban evading. Not really anybody else did anything. He did it to himself. This man Lowtiergod cancels himself. Nobody really does anything because people want to see him rage. So it's just the endless same shit on YouTube with this man. Just him closing up, raging, maybe saying some delusional shit, people, roasting him, and that's pretty much it. And it just constantly keeps his name out there. Maybe gives him a little bit of traction, a little tiny bit of traction, but that keeps him alive. That keeps the man alive. All right. So I don't really have anything else to say. Like the haters, you automatically lose when you take that title and you're still looking up Lowtiergod content. The only haters who win are the haters, the Lowtiergod haters, who say, you know, I don't like Lowtiergod, I hate Lowtiergod, and don't look up anything. Don't watch any content on Lowtiergod. And you know, those YouTubers who talk about Lowtiergod, those big content creators, they'll talk about him, they'll laugh at him, and then they'll ignore him because they realize he done some bad shit and they won't give him any type of views. They won't put his name out there. Just look up any of the big people who ever talked about Lowtiergod before. They don't talk about him anymore. They'll talk about him once and then they won't talk about him anymore because they don't give him traction. But you guys are the ones who keep giving him traction. And again, so I'm gonna revise something on the last video, all right? So I said, you know, trolls, I think I said this at the start of this this video, where I said trolls and haters are losing, but I just want to officially revise that and say only the haters are, because the trolls, if you are a troll and you're saying, I like watching this man, you know, I like watching him rage, I like watching him be a baby or you know, something to that effect. You can even say, you know, I'm hate watching because it's interesting to me, even something to that effect, then you're a winner in this situation. But the haters are really the only ones who are losing, and it aggravates me. What aggravates me the most is those people who hate Lowtiergod, and they're also the ones clipping him, because you're legit giving the man traction. Like I look at that was the catalyst for me making the first stream way back talking about this. That was the catalyst, because I was like, what the fuck are these people doing, bro? You hate the man, yet you're putting the man's name out there. Why? Why? He would have disappeared. The homeless man would have disappeared if everybody ignored him. He would have died on the street. The moment you give that man some attention, he's gonna be in people's view now. People are gonna legit see him. He's gonna be in everybody's view. You look up his name, he's everywhere. Like, oh man. Let me stop going off on that rant. I don't believe there's anything else I need to talk about. I replied to almost every single one of the comments in my last video. I'm gonna do that again with this video if you guys have anything to say. I don't wanna talk about this again, to be honest. I don't wanna talk about anything Lowtiergod related. I'd rather talk about other content creators. Right now, I'm trying to think about what content creators I want to talk about. And again, if you haven't noticed, in this video and the last video of Lowtiergod, I copied his whole little setup right here through a green screen, and you got a little stream playing. And the reason I did that is because whenever I talk about a content creator, I'm always gonna copy their format of content, and that's how I'm just gonna roll. I'm just gonna roll whenever I talk about a content creator that way. You could always, I'm losing my mind. I ranted too much, but the last video I made on Sensitive Society, I copied his, you know, content format. So if you want some reference on what I'm trying to do, and eventually, hopefully I can get, if this gains a lot of traction, then I can do the bigger people and get like really creative with it. But I have nothing else to say. So you can leave whatever you want to say in the comments. Again, please don't be ignorant. A lot of you guys, a lot of the people who generally do not like Lowtiergod are ignorant, like really, really ignorant. There are some people who make good points, but again, the point I'm making is that this dude is alive and breathing because of the haters. Like he's literally on life support right now. This man Lowtiergod's on life support, and the haters are just pumping him, keeping him alive, so they can keep that content of Lowtiergod alive for whatever reason. I don't know. I mean, I guess I can understand why they're doing it, but still, they refuse to believe it. That's all I'm saying right here, is that you guys are keeping him alive. I'm not saying the man's a good guy. I'm not saying I love the man. I'm not saying, you know, the Lowtiergod supporters are awesome people. Lowtiergod's an awesome person. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you are keeping him alive. That is my main point. You are keeping him alive. And that's why I said Lowtiergod is beating the haters, because he's legit farming you guys at this point, and it's an endless cycle. It will not stop. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I have nothing more to say about this. I do not want to make another video about this. And before I officially go, I know there's probably going to be a comment about this, about how there's videos out there explaining all the bad things LTG's done, like the grooming, the stalking, the horrible shit he's done over the years, right? But those videos aren't in the front view because people keep spamming the rage shit. The rage doesn't really do anything. People actually want to see that shit. People want to troll him and see more of that. If you really want to cancel him, man, you got to keep that stuff in the, you know, the rear, not rear view, but the front view. That got to be on the first page. That has to be out in the open, like just plain in sight, but it's not, because people are constantly uploading these rage clips. And if you're the type who, you know, you say, oh, he's a groomer, and then all of a sudden you're watching these rage clips like it's a normal day and not staying on the groomer topic, then yeah, you're losing in that regard, because you're not keeping it on the first page. You're not keeping it in the front view. You're not keeping it to where everybody can see it and it's obvious this man's a bad person.